Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the My Tribe podcast, coming to you live from Holland America Cruises. We're on the legendary Blues Cruise today. We're out here and just want to give a little bit of a recap of the amazing interview between Joe Rogan and Donald Trump, and a couple of things that I saw that I'm correlating to a book that I'm reading, actually, which we talked a little bit about recently, David and Goliath. Man, amazing book. You gotta get it. Malcolm Gladwell. It's such a great read for people with ADHD because he tells a story, then he goes to another story, then he goes to another story, then he brings it all back together. And it's funny, in the interview between Rogan and Trump, they talk about the concept of that, and Trump's been mentioning it recently with the weave. He starts at a subject, goes out, and then finally comes back to that subject based on stories and personal anecdotes and so on and so forth. So I'm going to do my best impression of the weave today. So, stay with me. We're going to talk a little bit. I want to touch briefly on how historic that interview was. The fact that Donald Trump sat down with Joe Rogan, and I'm not going to say he endorsed him, but I'm not going to say he didn't endorse him. I mean, it looked like two buddies from way back connecting. They didn't differ on a lot of things. They really didn't have a difference of opinion on a lot of things. And, people have always associated Joe Rogan to Donald Trump. I feel that he's always done a good job of keeping up this barrier between him and Trump, almost until yesterday when that interview dropped. And it was really eye-opening to see. What I've really known all along is that, Joe Rogan is a hard-working, believes in accountability. He's an American first man. He doesn't believe in handouts, doesn't believe in socialism. And the fact that he had Trump on the show, I give him the immense amount of credit because of the amount of hate he's probably going to get for that. He did also invite Kamala Harris, but she obviously didn't, accept. And to me, honestly, yesterday was pretty much an endorsement to Trump. And I don't know what would classify it as an endorsement, because I guess, would it be classified an endorsement if they agreed on all of the issues? If everything that he said correlated with what, they were both on the same page about 98% of what they were talking about. And I think Joe actually pointed out a lot about Trump's comedic timing, and how he can work a crowd and really use that comedic timing. And I think it's really interesting because of how Joe Rogan is a comedian. These are the things that he studied for years. This is the thing that he is an art that he's mastered to be one of the top stand-up comics out there. And for him to stand there and say, Trump, you're really funny. You have a lot of comedic timing down. It's unbelievable. It's great. I mean, Trump's also been in the spotlight. He's had The Apprentice. He's had, tons and tons of opportunities in front of the spotlight. But I think it goes to speaks a lot to what they appreciate about each other. And I think at the root of it is a lot of authenticity. Joe Rogan is not influenced by any outside other bullshit media sources. The Joe Rogan podcast started because of the fact that media isn't involved, that he is producing his own media and no one else is influencing what he has to say. I think Trump got involved with politics because no one else is involved, and he's the only one that's producing what he has to say. And there's no one in his back pocket paying him to think a certain way or act a certain way. He has nothing but the interests of America in his best, right light, essentially. And if he doesn't, then why else would he be doing this? And I guess this is my official endorsement of Trump. I mean, I don't think I ever really seen myself getting political on this thing, but in today's day and age, I don't understand how you can't. I don't understand how you can walk this line of like, I don't want to be political. It's like, well, to me, you either, there's no way you can't see the bullshit that's happening, and if you see it and you choose to ignore it because your hatred of a man, of an individual, I don't have words for you. That we're going to leave it at that. Better unsaid. But one of the things that I want to correlate all this back to is in this book, David and Goliath. Highly recommend. It's discussing the concept of resilience and perspective on resilience, and how it goes into a specific concept of a near miss. And it talks about the World War II, when the Nazis were bombing European countries, specifically London. And the people of London were so worried, the government leaders were so worried what the people of London were going to do if Nazi Germany were to start bombing London. And they assumed people would just be wreaking panic. They wouldn't know what to do. The city would just implode on itself with panic and fear. And it turned out, as the bombings came and they happened, they actually broke it down into four categories. I have to find this right now. Here we go. The first category of individuals affected by bombings were were the people bombed. So that's obviously, it's people were bombed, and that's a problem. So they were the first people. Then it was the people that were close to it, that got traumatized, and then there were people that were near misses. And then the fourth were people that weren't involved at all and just heard about it. And the people that were near misses, it was, a bomb got dropped 4 houses down. The siren goes off, they take cover, and essentially what they talked about was how at first, when the siren went off, they were very, very scared. And after they took cover with their family and the bomb went off and it didn't hit them, they came out and said, "Oh, I've been bombed. Like, I've been bombed. And I'm okay. Like, holy shit." And they start walking around with this badge of honor that I've been bombed. And to me, what that created was utter calm and actually courage in the streets of London. So as the Nazis were bombing London to cause havoc, to wreak instability, it was actually creating more stability and more belief in the nation and in themselves than if they never bombed at all. So, I mean, just to take a second there and really swallow that and think about it from a perspective of a general in war and saying, all right, let's wreak havoc in this city and let's bomb them. And now, by doing that, you think it's going to create some havoc, but it actually happens to create the opposite effect. And I think that's a lot of what happened here with Trump and the fact that they almost got him. The near miss of 2 assassination attempts. 2. I think he's walked away from those near misses stronger, more confident. He hit the deck and got up and said, "Fight, fight, fight." I mean, who doesn't want that man leading them into battle? I know I do. I know I do. That was his William Wallace Braveheart moment, if there ever was one. You couldn't even doctor something like that up. Even if you tried, you couldn't. And I think that near miss has given him the courage to go on all of these podcasts, to truly expose himself in such a positive way, where he may have felt vulnerable, or he may have felt threatened by some of these podcasts that he might have been going, that he wouldn't have considered going, because he didn't do this before. I'm trying to think about why is he doing this now? Is it reactive to Kamala going on a different number of podcasts, or is it because it's like, listen, I've got nothing to lose. I've gotten shot. And he was talking yesterday how he's worked 56 days straight. Have any of you ever worked 56 days straight on anything ever? I'm not, and that's not having a Saturday off, or it's 57 days straight, 56 days straight. That is mind-boggling to someone of that age. I think he's like 74, something of that nature. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So to me, the interview, just to get back to the interview and the review of it, I would say it's one of my favorite interviews that I've ever listened to. It goes into a lot of the specifics of Trump's initial inaugural presidency, and how he got in, and what he felt like when he was in the office. And again, I don't think he would be this comfortable, to be this vulnerable, have his vulnerabilities exposed, if he didn't have this near miss. I mean, you try to take him out, man. That's just like, you better catch him, because if you don't, he's coming back a lot stronger. And that's what happened here. That is really what happened here. And it's pretty unbelievable how this whole thing is playing out. And you know, this near miss, I want you to reflect in your life where you've had a near miss, where someone's try to take you out, or you know, I don't even say someone tried to take you out. Let's reflect. If something we thought was going our way didn't go our way, and something, someone, the weather, whatever it may be, tried to affect us in a way, and it didn't allow it. A near miss could be, you know, I wanted to sleep in today, but I didn't. I went to the gym. I almost didn't get to the gym today. But you know what? I conquered my lazy self. My lazy self tried to keep me in from going to the gym, tried to keep me from getting work, tried to prevent me from recording this podcast while I'm on a cruise. Now, it's not going to happen. That to me is powerful. You know, I'm on vacation right now with my parents on the Blues cruise. Never in a million years would I picture myself sitting on the deck of this balcony and recording a podcast. I'm supposed to be enjoying myself, supposed to be relaxing. But no, I worked out this morning, did 2 hours of work inside, very concentrated work. And I'm blessed to have this opportunity to sit in front of a camera on this amazing Sunday morning. Like, on a cruise, you don't really, the days are just the days. It's where they put them on the floor of the elevator. You just lose track of days. So I said, well, why not make this a Monday for me? Why not actually be dramatically productive, and then be able to enjoy myself when we get to where we're going? So that's the summarization of what I wanted to come here to talk about today. That interview is amazing. You really have to go dial in. Put it on when you're in the gym. You don't need to watch it. They don't show any videos or visuals due to copyright infringements. And it's amazing how Joe Rogan calls out all of these people that flipped on Trump, that flipped on him the minute he became president. They were all friends. They were all good. Whoopi Goldberg, all these ladies from The View. That, oh, our friend Donald, you got to come on the show again. And that was a year or so before he was actually president. And once he became president, he became Hitler. Oof, oof. It's Joe calls it out. It's the weaponization of media. The weaponization. You got it. You got to listen to it. They get into it and talk the most realist shit that I've ever seen. And you hear somebody talking real shit like, "Yo, they're gonna take that guy out." This is one of those. This is one of those episodes. One of those interviews that fights the power, that goes against the grain, that where both individuals say exactly what they're thinking, and it's not a lot. Like, I've listened to a couple of things where Trump is just rambling, and I don't have a lot of energy for that. I don't want to hear all of this stuff. And Joe does a great job of reining him in. He starts going down the story of the weave. The weave gets real wide, and he brings him back. He says, "Hey, listen, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the election fraud of 2020. Why do you think you won?" And he kept bringing him back. Dial in, listen to it, and reflect on a near miss in your life when somebody tried to take you out, when somebody was talking shit about you, but you instead worked harder despite that. That's what I want to leave you with today. Thank you all for tuning in. God bless. And don't forget to share this with somebody and reflect on that near miss together. Like this video and share this video with somebody who might appreciate it. Thank you all very much.